You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show that, with no real boundaries, as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest.
Me to sing.
Welcome back.
Lisa Dunn is with us this morning. Are you going to sing for us?
No.
Okay. Century 21 Award. We got to make sure
Century 21 Award, the largest Century 21 franchise in the world.
So she's got a big award over here. That's the bottom line of that one.
Yep.
Largest Century 21 franchise in the world.
Now that we've merged with Affiliated.
Now they're no longer affiliated. Maybe they are affiliated.
No, we're affiliated with Affiliated.
We're affiliated with
But
affiliated.
we're not affiliated yet.
Okay.
Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Sounds like a plan. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Now, I think they must have looked at these and put them together today. Now, I heard on the news this morning it was National Mai Tai Day, but I'm not seeing it, so I'm not going to go there. National Beach Day. I might go there. So
Actually, I'm going to the beach.
Are you going to the beach?
Yeah, I get to celebrate. Yeah.
What are you celebrating?
I'm going to the beach.
Oh, celebrating. Yeah, it's going to be pretty warm at the beach for the next few days. So going to the beach. And if you're there late enough in the day, you might even have today's Toasted Marshmallow Day.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know about the toasted marshmallows, but you got to get the graham crackers and the chocolate. And then if you put the toasted marshmallow in the middle, that's fine too.
Yeah, regular, just toasted marshmallow. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it the right way.
That's right.
But you got to just get the chocolate, the graham crackers, and that's good stuff. Now, my bariatric doctor might not say the same thing, and being that my wife's hollering at me about maybe losing a little extra baggage, might be a different issue. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 242 points with the Powell plunge. S&P 500 down 36. NASDAQ down 122. Oil's down $5.16 a barrel. That means the war in Ukraine must be doing much better, being that maybe it's over. I wonder if the president is going to give Putin credit for the gas prices dropping, being that it was his fault that the gas prices increased. I doubt it. Let's move right along. Hey, are you still worried about COVID? There are some people that are, but apparently it's not a big issue right now because federal government says no more free tests. They're about out of money, so that one's going away. Although the next story down says the coronavirus cases are rising in 12 states and declining in all the rest. So maybe those 12 states will get the tests. I don't know. We'll move right along and see what else is going on in this world of real estate, markets, inflation, recession. Are we ready? Are we going into a recession? Has anybody figured that out yet? Of course we are. Now, don't just take my word for it. I do a little bit of a radio program every morning and study for about 3-4 hours a day to get you the data that I share with you. Number one, technically, we're already in a recession now. The National Bureau of Economic Research has not said we're in a recession. They usually don't say that until about 5 months after we're in a recession. And by definition, it takes 6 months to be in a recession. So they're about a year behind the schedule. But the chairman of the Federal Reserve said that, you know something, we got to go into a recession. And the funny part, which I don't know whether anybody's going to be laughing about this part, but the irony is that the Federal Reserve chair, in his 8-minute trash the world comments on Friday from Jackson Hole, right? So we end up dropping we're probably about $1.5 trillion in market cap on the Dow, on the S&P 500, on the stock market. Where does that $1.5 trillion come from? Where does that go to? Well, it's your 401k. It's your investments. It's not just rich people who are losing money. They lose more because they got more, but it doesn't affect them as much because they got so much it doesn't matter. You and I, where we've got a moderate 401k, IRA, retirement funds, investment portfolio, we feel it a little bit more. So this plunge of $1.5 trillion in 3 trading sessions feels a little bit more. But here's the issue. The chairman said we're going to feel pain. How do we translate that? Because if you remember, about 1.5 years ago, the Federal Reserve said that inflation is transitory, don't worry about it. And then they said, well, we're going to have a soft landing. And I told you then that soft landing for Fed speak means we're going into a recession, and they never get a soft landing because they always screw up. Why do I say they always screw up? It's very simple. Because it takes 9 to 18 months to feel the effects of an interest rate increase by the Federal Reserve. Just the way it is, 9 to 18 months. Well, if you increase every single month or every single meeting, which is about every 6 weeks, well, the increases that they put in effect 3 months ago have not even hit the economy yet. The increases that they put in last month have not even hit the economy yet, and they're already saying they're going to increase interest rates another 0.75 point at their meeting toward the middle or end of last part of September. So the Fed chairman did say this time that, you know something, it's going to be painful. So we went from transitory to soft landing to painful. How do we interpret that? What does that mean? Well, that 3.5% unemployment, yeah, look at that going to 5 or 6 or 7% unemployment. That's what that's going to mean. We're going to try and get inflation down, but how are we going to do that? Gas prices, oil prices went up just recently. I just looked, and we'll see, being that I didn't tell you about gas prices, but gas prices, $3.84.5 right now is the national average, $3.85 yesterday. So we went down a little bit. Right here in the formerly Golden State, we're paying $5.27 a gallon of gasoline. Hawaii, $5.29.5 these are averages. And I have a friend of mine, I had lunch with him yesterday, just came back. He said he paid $4 and change in Oregon, and he paid $7 and change in Cambria. Think about that one.
He's
Now,
going to the really bad gas stations, because I just filled up my tank with premium in Mission Viejo yesterday for $5.24 a gallon.
$5.24. That pretty much, I just said
Premium.
$5.26. He was in Cambria along in the resort area.
If you go to I'm not going to call out a particular brand. There's certain brands of gasoline that are a little bit more expensive than others. And I'm sure if he went to off the freeway in Cambria, he got hosed.
When you need gas, you need either go to Taco Bell or get to the gas station that's closest.
You just go a couple of blocks inland and you'll save yourself 20 cents a gallon.
Okay.
Sorry, I just had to put that in because I've been surprised. I've been having to do a lot more driving. I got the car that I'm driving now before gas prices went crazy, and I'm like, I can get something that runs on premium. And, I'm kind of surprised. I was driving past a station yesterday off of the 15 because I was having to go out to Temecula, $5.09 a gallon for premium.
That's what I paid over the weekend also.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a Costco shopper, so even on top of the $5.09 I paid, then I get 3 or 4% back at the end of the year or something along those lines.
You got to be smart with your gas.
Absolutely. So, and I don't like Taco Bell, so I got to go to the Costco.
And we're happy that he doesn't like Taco Bell.
Exactly.
Yes, it's
Now,
better for all.
Josh, he doesn't even have to go and search. Even $4.86.5 a gallon is for Josh. And he looks and says, okay, well, Jody, our processor, she's at $4 a gallon. And, we don't even want to talk about Lori. $3.40 a gallon. I don't think I could get my car all the way to Louisiana to fill up, though. By the time I got back, I'd have to go and stop again over in California and get another $5.27 a gallon. But here's the issue. Those prices are not going to keep going down like they are right now. Why? Because I showed you the scenario of how to calculate gas prices based on WTI. That is the crude oil.
I thought you were going to say something else.
So crude oil now $91.52 a barrel. That's going to work out to about $4 a gallon of gasoline on the national level. Add another 20% for California taxes and fees, and that's where we're going to be. But here's the issue: are you going out shopping now? Look at this. To give you an idea of how much we know about the inflation coming up, Walmart, they're putting out their catalog right now for their Christmas gifts. So you can start saving up because they know it's going to be a tight year. And they're going to put in a couple of aisles of Christmas toys that are $25 and under aisles. 25 and under. Just so you have that for the holiday season. Just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, Case Shiller, they've given us their report of real estate values. FHFA gave us their report of real estate values. What's actually happening with home prices? How to use gift money for you. Well, we did that already. How a debt management plan can impact your FICO scores. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. S&P 500 now down 29.63. Why am I so specific? Well, we're just about to go. Well, we just ticked below 4,000 on the S&P 500. Does it mean anything? Not really. It's just psychological, but it's below 4,000. Let's take a look and see what we're getting here from the 10-year Treasury. That's at another one of those inflection points. So that's a toughie as well. We're watching that one. That's at 3.125. And if we go above 3.12, about a little over, if we keep going up a little bit even, we're going to go right to 3.25 is our next stopping point. Good for seniors on fixed income, not good if you're looking to buy a house. Mortgage-backed securities, they're down 19 basis points right now. When the mortgage-backed securities go down, that means interest rates are going up. And every day at this time, I tell you, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. The 30-year conforming loan locked at 5.793 yesterday. That was up 9 basis points. The 30-year jumbos locked at 5.421. That was down a bit. 30-year FHA loans locked at 5.642. The 30-year USDA loans for the rural areas, 5.601. No down payment on most of those USDAs. And the best loan on the market, you have to earn it. You don't get to just apply. That is the 30-year VA loan at 5.459 is where those locked at yesterday. You can find all that information if you know where to look. But the reason you're coming here is to find out why these things are happening. I already told you about the Powell plunge. So we're seeing a lot of fallout from Jerome Powell's comments toward the end there of their Jackson Hole summit, which they finally went back to doing live. Now we got housing news. Case-Shiller, the home price index considered the gold standard for appreciation, showed home prices rose 0.6% in June, 18% year over year, which is a decline from the previous reading of 19.9% in May, but still strong. Appreciation is clearly slowing, but as of June, still increasing at a robust rate. And I'm just going to give you a quote right here from Craig Lazara from Case-Shiller. Here's what he said, quote, "Prices are clearly increasing at a slower rate. It's important to bear in mind that deceleration and decline are two entirely different things, and that prices are still rising at a robust clip. June's growth rates for all three composites are at or above the 95th percentile of historic experience. For the first 6 months of 2022, in fact, the national composite is up 10.6%. In the last 35 years, only 4 complete years. Now, I just gave you the number for the first 6 months, but for the last 35 years, only 4 times have we seen a composite that's greater than that 10.6%. That's for Case-Shiller. Now, Case-Shiller, they put in everything. They are a little bit old on their data again because they do a 3-month and they average and it comes out in June. So it's a couple of months old. So just keep that in mind. But then we look at the FHFA, the Federal Housing Finance Agency. They released their house price index, which measures home price appreciation or single-family homes with conforming loan amounts. Different than Case-Shiller, it does not include cash buyers or jumbo loans. The FHFA reported the prices rose 0.1% in June and are up 16.2% year over year, which is down from 18.3, but still very, very, very hot. So we've got those. We're going to put those charts out. Here's the other one, Apartment List released their monthly rental index showing that rental prices rose 0.5% in August, which was half of the gain seen in July. Rents are up 10% year over year, 7.2% year to date. Looking at the monthly gain of 0.5%, if that were to be annualized with compounding going forward, it would equate to a rental increase of above 6% for the year. So is real estate going down? I hear a lot of people talking that real estate is crashing, real estate is dying, that you shouldn't buy any real estate. It's just nuts. Now, I will share with you before I close out our Mortgage Minute here and have a chat with Lisa to see what she's seeing on the street. These are all national numbers that I just gave you. I did see one number that I almost fell off my chair this morning. That would be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen. I could get hurt.
Exactly. 92807. That's one of the Anaheim Hills zip codes. 62% of the properties listed in 92807 have had a price reduction on them. 62%.
Let's talk about that after the break.
That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Our guest this morning, Lisa Dunn, Century 21 Award. And then, do we have to put in all the other things? What is it?
No, we're good. What? About me?
Car chief or head of car and head of NAR?
No,
and
I'm not the head of that stuff. I am a committee chair this year at CAR.
Committee chair,
California Association of Realtors. I'm the chair of the Communications Advisory.
Not even going to go there.
And then next year, I'm going to be the chair of the Business Technology Forum. as well as being vice chair from the National Association of Realtors Research Committee, which is all market trends and data analysis and all that fun stuff.
Holy cow! So you're going to be busy.
I'm gonna be busy.
And then you're with Century 21 Awards, and you help people with their own properties.
That's right. And I also have a staff position with corporate at Century 21 Award. I am the regional sales director, and I do sell properties still.
Holy cow! You got a lot going on.
I do, don't I? I do have a lot going on.
So now we know why you're not playing basketball
That's
anymore.
right. Don't have time. Don't have time.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the numbers that I just shared.
Let's talk about that whole price reduction number
Okay.
thing, because every time I hear somebody quoting that, it drives me bonkers.
Okay.
Because to me, it means nothing. It really does. Because right now we're in, and this is the buzzwords for the year, a shifting market. And we're shifting from overheated,
Not shifty, but shifting.
Shifting market. And we were in an overheated market. I mean, you mentioned 19% appreciation. That's obscene.
Right.
You know, I mean,
It's not even healthy.
What is our historic average? Usually what? 5 to 6% was considered a good year.
That was really good.
Yeah, and now we're all sitting here freaking out because, oh my gosh, we're not burning up at 20% a year. I mean, that was unsustainable, completely unsustainable. So parties got to end for the home sellers and the home builders at some point when they hit the point that it's overheated.
Back up. What is the party has to end? Does that mean it's not going to go up as fast, or it's going to actually go down?
I don't think it's going to go down because the demand is still there. You have a ton of people out there that didn't get to purchase properties in 2020 and 2021. And, you know, they just kind of gave up in 2022, but it doesn't mean that they don't still want to buy a home. You know,
they might still be getting older. They might still be having babies. They might still be getting married.
How many 27 to 35-year-olds do you know that are getting married right now, having families? They want a dog in the backyard, just, you know, like we all did at that age.
And mom and dad want them out of the basement.
Well, and they're probably paying those ridiculous rents right now that are going up at a faster rate than what the home appreciation is. And, you know, we talk about the interest rates being high, you know, high being a relative term.
Sure.
But, you know, when you're paying rent, your interest rate is 100%. You're not getting anything out of that money. You're paying somebody else's mortgage.
So let's take a look at some further stats. I gave you the big one there. And I think that because of what I'm looking at, I look at 92807 and it says that 62% of the prices took a price decrease.
Okay, let's talk
the very
about
next, give me one second. The very next zip code to it, 92808, 35% of the properties took a price decrease. Nationally, 39% of the single family homes on the market have had a price decrease. And historically, it's about 33%.
And what's the time frame for these numbers? When did they start showing the price decreases begin or really go in earnest? Is it something happening like in the month of August? Are these August numbers?
Basically, what the numbers are, and that's a good question because you always want to know what the modality is of any type of research.
Big word there, Ron. Like that.
I don't know what it means, but it sounded good.
Sounded good to me.
Okay, so basically what they did is they looked at every property that's on the market right, every single family residence that's on the market right now, and they said, has that property taken a price decrease?
Well, let's talk about what I was saying about the party's ending for the sellers. A lot of sellers don't think that party's ending right now.
Ah, yeah, that's for sure.
You know, the agents I talked to, you know, they're walking in saying the seller's not realistic. The seller just, you know, they heard their neighbor sold for, you know, 1.1 million. Then they hear that the prices went up 20%. So I guess that means they can go on at 1.25 and they should get an offer. And it's like, no, that's not happening right now.
You know something I just looked up because 92807 is what we used here. Median home price right now for 92807. This is closed transactions, $1,078,000.
Yeah. And you know what? Normally, if I'm going to pull a number out of the air, you know, for an example, I mean, you know, I'm going to 1.1 as an example. 5 years ago, my example would be 850.
Sure.
Because that house that was 850 back then is now 1.1.
Right.
And something ain't right with that. And at some point, it's got to stop. The interest rates did go up. And, you know, we talk about the recession and everything. Yes, we are in an industry recession right now. You know, it's not a job loss recession. It's an industry recession because it's overheated and they're bumping up the interest rates to try to cool down this overheated economy. We had people coming in. I had a listing earlier this year that was an 850 house. It was an original, she redid the kitchen and some things, but it had the original carpet from 1994 in it and the same original time. And the carpet was still in like halfway decent condition because she was a very immaculate person. But I'm like going, you know what? I'm going to put this at $1,075,000. I had sold one that was about the same size for 1.1, but it was in better condition. I had 53 people come through in one weekend. 20 of them wrote offers, and it sold for over 1.3. That isn't right. There shouldn't be 20 offers on a property. If I put that house on the market today, I'd go back $1,075,000, and I bet I would probably have 10, 12 showings, maybe get 1, 2 offers. And you know what? That's normal. That's how it's supposed to be.
So when we come back, I'm going to go with a issue that I'm hearing a lot with seasoned realtors.
Like seasoned, like you're putting shake and bake on them or something? Or
old.
Oh, like me. Okay.
No, realtors that have been around for a while. When we come back, I want to talk about an issue that I see with realtors that have been around for a while. And I want to talk to Lisa about this because she just made a comment that I'm hearing a lot. And I want to dig into that a little bit further.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
What's actually happening with home price? We'll talk about that, how a debt management plan can impact your FICO scores and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Probably one of the only sources that I know of that you can actually shop for properties. Well, I'll qualify. You can shop for real estate properties online by yourself, no advertising, no commitments. And it covers about 97% of the properties across the country. I know there's multiple listing services you can get or campaigns from realtors, but for the most part, those are going to be in a localized area. They're not going to generally cover 37% of the U.S. because they're sending you stuff from the MLSs. We do have this available that we share it with realtors as well, but it's not. And it's not going to give you the false information that you get out of Zillow. Just throw that out there. They're not a sponsor, as you can tell.
Touche.
Unbelievable. But what's actually happening with home prices today? One of the biggest questions people are asking right now is, what's happening with home prices?
What is happening with home
There are
prices?
headlines about ongoing price appreciation, but at the same time, some sellers are reducing the price of their homes. That can feel confusing and makes it more difficult to get a clear picture. Part of the challenge is that it can be hard to understand what experts are saying when the words they use sound familiar. Let's break down the differences among those terms to help clarify what's actually happening today. Appreciation. That's when your home price increases. Depreciation. That's when your home price decreases. Deceleration, that's the biggie, is when home prices continue to appreciate, but at a slower or more moderate pace. Experts agree that nationally, what we're seeing today is deceleration. That means home prices are appreciating, just not at the record-breaking pace they have over the past year. In 2021, data from CoreLogic tells us home prices appreciated by an average of 15% nationwide. And earlier this year, that appreciation was upward of 20%. This year, experts forecast home prices will appreciate at a decelerated pace of around 10 to 11% on average.
Whoa.
If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart using the latest data from CoreLogic to help tell the story of home prices are decelerating, not depreciating so far. So in January, year-over-year home price increases, monthly 19.1, February 20, March 20.9, April 20, May 20.2, June 18.3. None of them are showing depreciation. All crazy high appreciation amounts. Green bars on the chart show home prices appreciated between 19 and 20% year over year. Now remember, this is great. CoreLogic does a great job of giving us backward data. Their forecasts stink because they said last year they were going to go down 2%. And the year before they were going to go down, not decelerate, but depreciate by 6%. Don't listen to that part of it. But the last few months, the pace of appreciation has decelerated all the way to 18%. This means price growth is still climbing compared to last year, but at a slower rate. As the monthly mortgage monitor from Black Knight explains, quote, annual home price growth dropped by nearly 2 percentage points, the greatest single-month slowdown on record since at least the early 1970s. While June's slowdown was record-breaking, home price growth would need to decelerate at this pace for 6 more months to drive annual appreciation back to 5%, a rate more in line with long-run averages, unquote. So the media is just going to tell you that prices went down, the prices dropped 2%. That's what they're going to tell you. Misleading. That's why you listen to Ron Siegel Radio. Basically, this means while moderating, home prices are still far above the norm, and we have to see a lot more deceleration to even fall in line with more typical rates of home price growth. That's still not home price depreciation. The big takeaway is home prices haven't fallen or depreciated nationwide. They're just decelerating or moderating. While some unique overheated markets may see declines nationally, home prices are forecast to appreciate. And when we look at the country as a whole, none of the experts project home prices will depreciate or fall. They're all projecting ongoing appreciation. I know there's some people out there saying that they're going to drop. Where's the data to support what they have to say? Or are they just giving you their gut feeling?
They know it's a sexy headline. They know it's clickbait.
Yeah,
And if you read the bulk of these articles or listen, well, there's a lot of whack jobs out there on YouTube, not to be confused with this whack job on his YouTube, because his YouTube's good. However, but there are people out there that just make crap up. And that's really all I can say about that. Is there, they hear the word recession, so they automatically think we're 2008 all over again, which no, we're not anything even near.
But I want to talk. I want to ask you about this. I'm going to just so my guys have it. That's the real-time real estate segment. Again, if you know of any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, have them call me. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Again, the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. So continue our conversation with Lisa Dunn, Century 21 Award. So Lisa, you made a great point, because there's a lot of everybody, the old saying, opinions or that's excuses, but they works for opinions too. Yeah. Right. Everyone's got an opinion. What's supporting their opinion?
That's the part that these people don't have. They're twisting. Before the show started, we were talking about numbers. How you can say, well, I have these numbers that show this. Well, I have these numbers that show that. You can twist numbers. People say numbers don't lie. I'm sorry. Numbers lie when they're manipulated.
Sure.
And there's
when you find the number that you want, right? I mean,
exactly.
You can go and grab the numbers that you like.
Yeah. When you get the number to do what you want the number to do, and then you're like,
I'm not going to use this number any longer.
Yeah.
And you know something? somebody that I believe that you and I both respect a lot, the late Essia Debe. I talked to him several times about why we use U3 for unemployment and why we use median home prices. And he said, Ron, those are crappy statistics, but they're consistent. And that's why we use them.
Yeah. And, and I really am not a fan of the median home prices at all, because it's just, that's telling you where's the halfway point price wise, not the average.
Right.
You can't
So
get
the
it
mix
confused
has
with
to
the
do
average.
with, right. The mix has a lot to do with it.
Exactly. And, most of the stuff is generalized anyhow. You were talking about these are nationwide numbers. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday on Housing Wire where, my friend, not sure if he's your friend, Logan Motoshami, was sitting there talking about how, all of these institutional investors were buying up properties, and really it's this very little teeny weeny number. It's like less than 2%, which went up from 0.5%. But it was like, this really doesn't make a dent in the market. It makes a dent in the market if you're living or trying to sell a house or whatever, if that's where they're doing their business.
Sure.
And you mentioned localized numbers. That's really the important thing, because different neighborhoods, different areas are going to do different things. When the iBuyers roll into town, they're not just throwing a blanket all over the place saying, we'll buy any home at, for a price. They have done research on what exact little neighborhood they're going to concentrate on.
Well, Zillow didn't, though, because that's why they left the
Zillow
industry.
actually did it. They, I researched heavily Zillow's iBuying, because my area that I work in was ground zero. It was one of their ground zeros. And in the multiple listing service, it showed that in that town's sales, they had 10% market share. 10% market share is a lot.
It's a lot.
But if you go into public record, for everyone that they listed, they had to buy it. That's 20% market share. That really affects that area. They're controlling the pricing. They're controlling the values.
But something they did,
and they also went out of business on that too. So
yeah, and if you looked at some of them, they were also buying. They were. If I tried to do that, what they did and didn't, they did a lot of, in my opinion, market manipulating.
That's why I studied
at one price and then sold it lower. If Walmart did that, they would get charged with, they'd go be lawsuits would be about predatory activities.
Well, but the interesting thing is they bought it for high, then they tried to sell it for higher, but that didn't work. So then they had to go lower, and they were taking a bath on every single house. And
so I want to ask you this question, Lisa, because this is really intrigues me, because I just looked up, I told you about $1,078,000 was the median price for 92807. I just looked at the median price for Orange County, California. And again, usually this data comes from Black Knight. They've got a huge, very, very well-respected company for data. Median home price for Orange County, for the entire county, is $1,129,816. So I've been talking, I hear, and you made this comment before, as you're trying to counsel your sellers and some of your buyers also, you'll look at a property and you'll say, something, this property is being sold way too high.
Yes.
And I hear that from seasoned agents, because they're looking and they're saying, okay, I know what this property sold for 10 years ago. I know what it sold for 8 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago. Right now it's going crazy. You're nuts. But we're at $1,129,000, which is an outrageously high number for Orange County, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How do we reconcile that and say, okay, we're not going to see price deflation, but that number is too high?
It's, what the market's going to do, what the market's going to do. And one thing that I say to my clients, and I advise our agents to say, is, the price isn't what you think it should be. The price really isn't even what I think it should be. The market's going to tell you what the price is. And you have all of those price decreases that you mentioned. Well, guess what? The seller's like, but I heard my house is worth this. And so I want to price it at that. And a lot of the agents are taking the listings saying, well, the price is going to come down, or, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, you're right, because I just want to get your listing and I'll do whatever you say. And then you don't have anybody come through the house in 2 weeks. And so it's like, okay, well, if we want to sell the house, we got to get people in here. How are we going to get people in here? It's not going to be Facebook ads. It's not going to be flyers to the neighbors. It's not going to be open houses. It's going to be the price because people want to see value. Now we do have this, this.
So if we don't have to do Facebook ads, we don't need to do open houses, and it's going to be the price. Why don't I
Then-
just put it online and put the price out there?
Well, that's why they're decreasing the prices. And then they'll do an open house and do a Facebook ad and do whatever. But nobody knows what the price is going to be until the market speaks. The market is going to tell you by the number of people that come into that property to view it, how you are on your price. Always a little better to underprice, and what I lovingly call aggressively price your home, not give it away and not like underprice it by 100,000. But don't do what you think it's going to do. Do what the numbers are showing you, because you also usually have to have an appraiser come in. And if some buyer wants to come in and buy the house for a crazy price in the first place, that appraiser is going to say, no, it's not worth that crazy price.
Interesting. And maybe what Lisa just said gives us a little insight as to why 62% of the properties in 92807 have a price decrease. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Lisa Dunn, and we'll probably leave our better outcomes segment for tomorrow. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We are chatting this morning. Lisa Dunn is with us, Century 21 Award. We're chatting about chatting about real estate and some of the things that are going on in the marketplace right now. And it fascinates me because I'm going to throw this to you, Lisa, because I think I know your opinion, but there are I think some agents, and I don't know whether they're just the younger ones or in general it's a business methodology. They get in front of a buyer, they do a listing consultation, and the buyer says, okay, I'm in whatever, Timbuktu, Anaheim, Mission Viejo, wherever, and you've looked at a property, you've done your due diligence on it, and you look at that property with your experience, you say it's worth 1.1, and that buyer has got the nicest house on the street. Just ask them. Every one of them do.
Are you talking about the seller?
I'm sorry, the seller.
Okay. Just
Sorry
got to get you straight there. Okay.
Got to get straight. So they've got the nicest house on the market, and they want to list it at $1.25 million.
Mm-hmm.
And you, as a professional agent, will say, okay, this is the value. We might end up doing a 2009 where we chase the market down, educating them,
doing a little of that right now,
right? Or somebody might say, okay, well, I'll take it. I'll put it up at 1.25. And maybe that's where the people are, that 62% of the market is doing that price decrease. It just took a listing for any price.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Because we have two things going on. One, we have everybody thinking that their house is special. My house is special. I'm sure your house is special.
Absolutely.
All of our homes are special. They're special to us. They're not special to the home buying public unless you have done ridiculous stuff to the home. You know, like if you got this killer backyard, you got the pool and the barbecue and the TV and the this and the that, you've got, you know, your bathrooms are all tricked
I went into
out.
the nicest $3.9 million house the seller ever had. And because of a health issue, I had to use the restroom at this property.
I don't want to hear anything about this health issue. Go ahead.
I went and to wash my hands,
Well, thank God.
and the water was brown. 3.9
And it was brown
million.
coming out of the faucet,
Out of the
not from him washing his hands.
I mean, can you imagine that?
There was one in my neighborhood. It was a model match to my house. And I just had my house appraised. And I mean, like last week appraised, you know, and I'm telling them, you know, my houses were like $950. Now, I bought my house in 2014 for $524. It just appraised at $1,050,000. But somebody in my neighborhood who had done a whole bunch of upgrades thought the same floor plan was worth 1.375.
Wow.
And the agent was holding it open, and I went in and looked at the house. I'm like, yeah, this got some nice stuff. I don't particularly care for some of the things that were done, but that's okay. Very nice house. And I left saying, you know, as a neighbor, I'm hoping you get,
Sure.
number one, I'm hoping you get an offer, but I really hope you get this price. As a real estate professional, you're never going to make appraisal, and I doubt you're going to see anything even close to this. And guess what the people did?
Price-
8 days later, they pulled their house off the market.
Wow. Okay.
They just went price fishing. They're like, my house is so awesome. Somebody's going to overpay. Last comp was 1.2. He thinks his house is worth another 175,000 more than the last comp. Guess what? If you're out there trying to figure out what your house is worth, find out what the last closed sale within the past 90 days, just like an appraiser would, that's what your house is worth. Maybe take a little bit off of that, and that's all depending on the condition as well. Somebody had said at Inman Connect, I don't remember who the speaker was, but they said you should be telling your sellers to price their house at what they think it's going to be worth in 3 months from now.
Interesting. And we've done some programs showing exactly what stats show, or what the research shows. If you actually price your house a bit below market value, you're going to get more people in, and it's going to go right to what you said, is the market's going to tell you what it's worth.
The market's going to tell you, and the market's going to tell you you have an aggressively priced home because you've got an open house with a bunch of people coming in. One of my agents did that this weekend. Last comp was 1.1. She listed it $1,049,000. She had 36 different groups of people come through, while other people are holding open houses and nobody walks in. She had that many people through, and I don't know if she got offers. I'm sure she did, but I'm dying to find out what they're at, because of the fact the buyers saw value. They said,
Sure.
Comps 1.1, they're under the comps. Look how nice this house is. Market's going to tell you what your house is worth.
And then you start getting into the egos that I'm not going to get outbid, or mom says she wants it and dad better find out how to get it for her.
Exactly. And another one of my agents had was representing a buyer for a house, I believe in Laguna Niguel, that had a lot of deferred maintenance, but it was still really a gorgeous house. Great location, backyard, killer backyard. Inside of the house was pretty nice. A lot of deferred maintenance so that you couldn't really tell until you started looking. And it was priced at 2.1. And he's like, whoa, my buyers are cash buyers. They're going to come in at 2.2 and they're going to get this house. There was 3 offers, all over 100,000 more than the list price, all cash buyers.
All cash. Wow.
All cash. There's a lot of money walking around out there. And that's why we're in the bind that we're in now. The inflation in the housing market and in general is because people have too much money and they want to spend it.
What a shame.
What a shame.
Send it this way if you want to spend it.
Yeah, you know, all those people with that 2.2, 2.3 million cash burning a hole in their pocket, if they want to adopt their very own realtor, here I am.
There you go. Good stuff. I mean, and if you don't have all cash, you know, if you want to try and get into that game, give us a call at 800-306-1990. Get totally pre-underwritten.
Ooh.
That way you can kind of match your money looks the same, right? Because you're going to be able to close in 10 days. Just like most cash offers are a 10-day or so. Just give us a call again. We can help you with that. And if you're looking to if you're financing, you may want to look. And Lisa, we started to talk about this before the program, and then we got on so many other tangents.
We always do, don't we,
The
Ron?
payment assistance program, rsrpaymentassist.com, rsrpaymentassist.com. If you want to get in that game, but you don't like these interest rates, and they've been going up lately since the Powell plunge, well, we're starting to see a lot of benefits there with the payment assistance program. So you can get that 4.5% interest rate still.
Well, and the reminder to the buyers, you're not buying, you're marrying the house, you're dating the rate.
Right.
And worry about what your payment is, your monthly payment. That's what you're qualifying for.
Exactly.
Don't worry about the price. Don't worry about the rate. If the monthly payment makes sense and it beats the heck out of paying rent, make the jump.
Yeah, and even if even if you overpay, there's no such thing as overpaying, but even if you think you're overpaying, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, you're going to look back and say, man, I was the smartest person in the whole world.
Absolutely. If you would have asked me back in 2015 when I moved into my house, did I get a good price on the house? Yeah, I thought I did pretty good. It's doubled. The house price has seriously doubled. $525 purchase, $1,050,000 now. And so if you think that you're not going to make money on homes, yeah, it goes up, it goes down, just like the stock market. But the benefit,
not as volatile as the stock market.
The benefit is you have a place to live.
Yeah, that's a big thing right there. I mean, we did this last week. We talked about Grant Cardone saying, don't waste your money on real estate. Yeah, but he forgot about the part about you have to have some roof over your. Well, most of us.
Those stock certificates get a little soggy when it's rainy season.
Yeah, it costs a little extra for a roof. Great information as always. I appreciate you coming in, Lisa Dunn, Century 21 Award. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.